Uh, Assalamu alaikum to all participants and all the stakeholders. Uh, can you see my presentation?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much, Dr. Abdul Wakil. It's some first chance to me over here that I'm joining the webinar, because most of the time when Mr. Abdul Rashid visit my office, then I was reluctant to have attend this meeting, but he forced me to attend this meeting. But today I am feeling that it's a very, very important and informative meeting, or inshallah we will do something, or we will find something good out of this meeting. Today, the topic of my presentation is the impact of food security, food safety, and the hygiene in human nutrition. When we will talk about the food safety and its hygiene, then we are going to say that either all the nutrients are that is provided to the end users or the population by providing the food chain system. So the food safety is a very important factor, along with the hygiene, that provide the balance food along with the balanced nutrients. So here, I just yesterday night when I'm going to make my slides, then I have gone through 8-9 papers, but I have get some information from FAO side or some other. One paper is published in Balochistan to some research group, and one is Bangladesh. Then I came to know that I have to discuss over here as because the most of over here are the technical peoples that have relation with the food technology, and some are these soil science nutritionists, that we can get something out of it. What is the major gap, that how we will combat with this important issue, that is the food safety, by providing the important role of that particular disciplines or particular professions. So here I'm just talking about the food safety. Food safety, first we must know what is the food safety, and food safety, how we can define it, that it is actually the save the food by scientific opting the scientific disciplines or parameters for preparing and storage in such a way that we can supply to the end user by preventing the food-borne illness or food-borne diseases. Because most of the food-borne diseases, especially in the developing countries, is due to the unhygienic condition of the food. So here is, I just discuss over here the comparison that in the developed countries, why they are going to save the food. They are because there is the preference of their consumers. They expect more safe food. More safe food means that they don't have any issue about the food security. They have issue on the quality of the food. So to meet, they are focusing on to meet the nutritional food, and that food that provide them according to their requirement, or that food must be a tasty. And all the, when they are preparing that food, all the ethical parameter must be opted, and they just consider the animal health and welfare also by when they are going to opt or the food safety parameters. But in developing countries, because we are insecure in food also, and not in the food but also in the field, because my experience, last 13 years I did work on animal nutrition sections, and in 2014 I shifted into the human section. Then I come to know that not only the animals, they are deficient in nutrients, by providing them the quality feed. The humans, they are more vulnerable as compared to the animals, because there is no expertise in nutrition sections in Pakistan regarding the how they will disseminate the information about the nutrition among the peoples. So in developing countries, the access and availability of the nutritious diet throughout the year at relatively low cost. So we need food that must be available or must be nutritious, along with the available around the year with low cost. That must be cost effective. So the main objective for the food safety in developed and developing countries need to be addressed. So in our country, like we are belongs to the developing countries, when we are talking about the food safety, then we have to think about our own requirement. We couldn't follow the developed countries, because they are save their food, or they are wasting or losses their food, because only towards the quality measures. But in our country, we are not only want to secure our food. Along with the security of our food, we want to supply round the years food to the end users. So because the safe and nutrition food is a right of the every or the all peoples, or that was reaffirmed by the 1996 World Food Summit. And this is only possible then when we will going to secure our food. So these are the major constraints that if we are going to secure the food, there will be the loss and wasting of the food. But this thing is bear by the developed countries. But in our developing countries, we have to think about that. Is it cost effective? That is only possible when we will go for the new technologies, the food technologies. They develop new technology to preserve the food, and that food must be provided to the end user with more safety. And either because it will also if it is most costly, then it will not reachable to the common person. So this is the major constraint is mentioned over here, that we have to address it when we are going to think about the safety and hygienic food. Lack of adequate food hygiene. Now I am talking about the food hygiene, because without food hygiene, we could not save our food. We could not adopt the parameters of the security of the safety of the food. The lack of adequate food hygiene is an important indicator for food safety that can lead to the foodborne disease and death of the consumers. So if we talk about what the situation is going in Pakistan, then we can say the food authority, they have take many steps to overcome this major issue. But open air markets, because we have more open air market as compared to the more safe or supermarkets. That's why this disease is more pronounced in our country. So this is the that is the reason this is not only happening in the developing country, it is also going on the developed countries. So if we see globally, that 2.2 million mortalities takes place due to the unhygienic food. But when we'll see the situation, what is going on in the Pakistan, Pakistan being a high burden country contributes an annually incidence rate of 413 out of 100,000 populations. So it means in Pakistan, there is more issue of foodborne diseases due to the unhealthy or unsafe food. So here is need to address the food safety, that how we will going to save the food. There are several ways to save that food, but the more important, the effective food system. If we will opt the effective food system, then we can minimize the risk of foodborne diseases by saving our food. Food system supply chain is a very important, we have to consider it when we are going to talk about the food safety. So here I mentioned two important things, that is you have read it in most of the articles, that from farm to the table, so from producer to the consumer. But here I have already mentioned, and one and other important point, that from farm to the feces. So if we want, we talk about the food system and that supply chain for the safety food to the end consumers, then we must think about that from the producers to the consumer, is it more safe or hygienic? But this is the work of the food technologist. They must, or the producers, means the agriculturist or the livestock keeping persons, they can focus on it, how good food they can produce. You can take the example of the milk. If we say that we are rearing our animals without any good housing, without offering them the good feed, that's why we are not getting the quality of milk. There is lot many, when they are just getting the milk at home, that have lot many microbes present in it. So this is the major, if we want to save our food supply system, then it is we have to focus on all aspects. So this is the if this is the major point, that from farm to the table is only the possible to supply of the good food if the producers or the food technologists, they plays their important role in it. From farm to the feces, it's a very important. Maybe in Pakistan last in 2010, when degree was initiated in human section, then the peoples, they are focused on it, that how much good food the peoples are taking, and either they are taking the, because as I have listened from Dr. Umar, that the most of the peoples, they are deficient in different nutrients, micronutrients, especially the micronutrients. Nothing is talk about the protein or the fat content. This is all due to the imbalance supply of the food nutrient to the humans. Or there is need to address this major issue among the peoples, if the nutritionists, they are playing very important role in these sections. So ensuring the adequate availability and the nutrition adequacy, the safety of food supply has become increasingly complex. When we will talk about all these aspects, then the safety and supply of the food will get complex. So all of us have sit together, have doing some brainstorming, and get something get out of it, that what is the me role, what is the other roles in to combat all these issues that or the constraint that lessen the unhygienic food condition of the unhygienic food that is supplied to the humans, that these conditions will be minimized by if we are doing work in our own sections. So
I'm sorry. Madam, I'm sorry to interrupt. You are talking very informative information, but we have time constraint. If you can please conclude your presentation.
yes, this is, I think so, end of the.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Here is I'm talking about the food processing by the food processors are more comprehensive effect in the development of the country by exploring new processing and preservation techniques. But in developed countries, this is lacking. And if the food technologists, they are working on their sections, they can overcome this important sector. Same is the nutritionist, they can disseminate to important knowledge regarding the nutrition to the end users. So in developing countries, basic infrastructure or basic technology know-how is needed to overcome these major food safety issues. So food meet science-based safety characteristics will be overcome if we will talk about the cost-effective, socially, ethically, and environmentally more available to the end users. So here is some attributes that if we will opt it, then we can minimize the issues that is hinder in the food safety. Here is some important role of the or the responsibility of the experts that can play a very important role in food safety in Pakistan. If the producers, as I mentioned in the photo sessions, the pictures that the producer, either they are the livestock producers or the belongs to the agriculture, if they can produce quality of the food, that can minimize the whatever the issues is going on in that major food system chains. Same is the processors. If the processors doing their job or they did work or doing research on these parameters, we can also minimize whatever the issues are going on in the food safety. Policies makers, they can also plays a very important role in these sections, and nutritionists. I have mentioned over here, someone has asked me why you put it the soil, plant, animal, and human health, because this is very important factor. If we all work in this our particular sections, we can also save our food with implementing this important parameters. As consumers, they also plays a very important role toward the food safety. So role of the food technologist and the nutritionist is mentioned over here because both have a different works. Both the job of both have a different jobs. They can, if they can work in their own field, they can give the better input in food safety. My recommendation is to supply your safe and hygienic food in the user is only possible if we do work honestly and effectively in our expert fields. Thank you very much. This is all about that. What is the role of our stakeholders in food safety and hygiene? If we will doing brainstorming, we can combat all these issues in which we will save our food and we can supply the hygienic food to the end users.